Folks, it's showtime. Stand by right around the corner. It's the Buddy Martin Show. On a Tuesday night, that means David Whitley will be in the box tonight. Always good for a laugh or two and maybe a little information. You never know with David. Looking forward to that. And after that, it's going to be Coach Lauren Meadows, who's on remote location bringing you trivia tonight. Think you can beat him at trivia? Well, if you do, you can maybe win some swag. Stay tuned. The Buddy Martin Show is now on the air, folks.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye!
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good evening and welcome. Is it a full moon or what? It's got to be a full moon. Too many crazy things going on out there tonight. Today, how was your week? How was your day? Stuff happens. Excuse me. Something I ate for dinner. And so we're here tonight again. Glad to be with you. It's a lot going on, but not so much the sports talk show aspect. Tonight, we're going to do a little something different because we got a little different guy, our friend David Whitley, who's always clever and likes to muse about things and has a few different thoughts, and we love David for that. And among the things we'll talk about tonight is who would make your life's movie? I've got a guy who is very popular now, who's hot. They're asking a question, who should be this guy's storyteller? Who should play Michael Block? He's the golfer. If you're not familiar with him, well, I'm sorry, but you don't have to follow much golf to know what this guy did. Unbelievable story. Then we'll talk about dreams. I wrote about dreams today, reluctantly, knowing that probably was a little off the mark for some people who wanted to know about recruiting and the Gators and whatever, but I thought, you know what? This is in me. I'm going to write it, because I've been having some odd dreams now for 6 to 8 months. I don't normally pay too much attention to them, but these are coming at the same time, and they're also the same genre of dreams. And I found out when I wrote it that other people are having the same kind of dreams. This particular dream involves working at a newspaper. David Whitley, I'm sure, knows about that. I've heard from a few of my friends about it, so we'll throw that out there. When you dream, what do you dream about? Do you dream about friends? Do you dream about exotic things? There's a list of things that people say they dream about, from your teeth breaking off to being late for class, etc. This is none of that. These are all good dreams, by the way, and I know the people in the dreams, but I can't see them. I don't know their names. Anyway, I know it's odd. Well, that'll set us up for David, and thanks for joining the program tonight. Let's go right in there and say good evening to David Baldoff, Dilly Dilly. David's been around since day one. What is it, 4 years, David? Dilly Dilly goes back to then. AJ Rowe, howdy to you. Good old reliable Terry Johnson. Terry, good to see you're on. Roger Burns. Roger, where you been, man? Frank Almeida, one of our regular loyal ones and a very upbeat guy. Good evening to you. Toby C. Permitter, of course Toby's on, because why? It's trivia night. And Toby kills it. He wins every week. He'll probably win one more. Lauren's going to know him in his house pretty soon, all right? And Michael Burton. So thanks for joining. Tell your friends and neighbors around here. Let's have some fun tonight. We could use a little bit of fun around here. Let's take this commercial break and hear from our great sponsor, Titan MRI, and come back. And David Whitley is in the green room with his, I guess it's champagne and caviar like it used. He rode over to Bentley again tonight. So we'll find out how the ride was and how the champagne and caviar with David after this message from Titan MRI. Let's hear from you, folks. Log on.
Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life, and the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans.
All right, thanks, Jeff Cardoza. No doubt in Birmingham, getting ready to call the SEC tournament. David Whitley's there he is with his Nixon sign again. He's staying with it all the way. He ruffled some feathers last time. He's not going to change. I am not a crook, right?
I'm not a crook.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Unless I'm filling out my expense accounts, then maybe I.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah. Well, you got to do a little bit of shading here and there. Just, my friend Buddy Page, who's the one that conveyed to me, somebody said something about your sign, used to actually turn in expense accounts when he traveled all over the place. And he'd always add at the end, $20 tip for the natives. And he got away with it. I don't know how it worked every time. I mean, anyway, that worked for him quite well. So David, do you dream very much?
I think I hear people dream every night. It's just that you don't remember them. All of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had some, like everybody else, I've had some memorable dreams. I've read your piece, and I got to say that you said people are having the same kind of dreams. I would suspect that Laura Rutledge has been in quite a few men's dreams over the years.
I bet she has, but not in that way. And of course, she was there because Laura we worked together. As I pointed out, she was far too big to be associated with me. Sitting at a table in a pregame, if those didn't read the column. By the way, you can go on Gator Bait and join, and you can read these things, not just because it's me, but we have a lot of fine pieces by people like Franz and Kyle Curtis and Matt Quadraro and what have you. So this particular dream, Laura had me sitting at a table in a media event. Now, this is the first time I've actually had people identified. I had Terry Bradshaw and Laura in the same dream, but not connected at all. And Laura was sitting there minding her own business, being, as I said, preoccupied by a lot of people. And I said how far-fetched that is. First of all, she wouldn't be eating in the media room. She'd have her own caterer. And I remember Laura, of course, and she was an intern for Gator Country and worked for us. Brendan Martin got her started on her first video, although he didn't get much credit for it. And good for Laura. Laura's done great, and proud of her. But anyway, Laura Rutledge was mentioned, and then Bradshaw was just as a cameo. I had to drive him to the airport for some reason in South Florida. Well, I don't know. We didn't really talk. So anyway, what kind of dreams do you have?
Oh, all kinds of dreams. A lot that I would probably be too embarrassed to relate to.
Yeah.
To relate to our audience. And a lot of them, like everybody else, they don't make much sense. That's why over the many eons of Earth, I think that if the oldest profession is prostitution, the second oldest might be dream telling or dream interpretation.
I don't do that. I don't go there.
Yeah. No. And I don't need, to me, it's sort of like, going to a psychic. They're trained to tell you what you want to hear or to interpret things. I don't really buy it. It's entertaining. But I haven't had I'm trying to think of sports related dreams.
I don't have that many sports dreams.
Yeah. No, it is people I know, and they're just so, it's like they're just so random. You don't know, but but I would it's funny when people talk about I'd like to see somebody who actually had it. I dream of winning the Gators winning a national championship, whatever. Yeah. I wonder if that is true. If somebody actually truly has dreamed that.
Well, I mean, listen, I know one story that when Steve Spurrier kicked his field goal to beat Auburn, Wayne McCall dreamed about it the night before.
The night before.
Yeah.
Did he call his shot beforehand? Said, I dreamed that Steve was going to do this.
I guess he told some people. They said, "Yeah, Wayne dreamed that," so they convinced him. So I don't know. Now this is a newspaper dream. So I want to read something to you. I dreamt about, and again, I don't want to bore people, but jump in, folks, if you want to play along. The newspaper dreams are the ones that I seem to don't always know where I am or what I'm doing or where my wife is. Or I don't have a cell phone and whatever. I don't know. I'm in a press box or a working area, and I'm not even sure that most of them have been nameless, faceless people. But now here's my friend George Solomon. You remember who George is. George is a sports editor of the Washington Post, a Florida graduate as well. He's a subscriber, and I dreamed I worked for the Miami News. I don't know why. I just did. And it felt good. I liked it, And George said, George's comment was, let's see. Let's see. Oh, here he is. He says, I was pleased the Miami News made it into your dreams. He says, Professors Davis and Cunningham. Now, those are guys that we had at Florida, those of us who were there from the 60s to the 90s, had two outstanding professors, Hugh Cunningham and Buddy Davis. Buddy Davis won a Pulitzer, by the way, writing. And it says, Davis and Cunningham make it into mine, he says, as does Jimmy Gate. Do you know the name Jimmy Gate? You don't. He was the SID at Florida before Norm Carlson. And George worked for Jimmy Gay. That's, I guess, why he's so. So anyway, that's the deal. That's the dream. So I don't know why, but as I said in the dream, not to dwell on my dreams, but it said in the column, I wake up at about 4:30 or 5, go to the restroom, take a swig of cold ice water, come back, puff up my pillow, get in bed, put my CPAP machine back on and my white noise machine, and snuggle under my pillow. And usually I'm thinking, I've even known to write half of a column on the situations, but I'll drift off, and that's when those dreams come to me. And lately it's always been about some event, something. I don't know. I'd like to know where I'm going to go next and see.
Mm-hmm. Is it like a continuing thing, like a mini series where you can pick up?
No, it's different. They're all separate episodes. They're not connected. Mm-hmm. But except I don't have a phone and I can't find my wife. Those the same scenario. So,
so tonight you may wake up at the Miami Herald. And,
well, that was my dream job. As I told George, that was my dream job. I never got offered, but that was the job where I wanted to work because there's so many great people. Anyway, I just if people were honest about their dreams, it would be very interesting. So, all right. So speaking of dreams, Michael Block had a huge dream. He was the golfer from California who Club Pro, who got made final. If you followed it at all, made the top 15 and qualified for next year's PGA. People who don't follow golf don't have any idea how big that is. It's huge. And he was such a refreshing personality. David, did you see the hole-in-one he made?
I didn't see it live, but I saw the replays. And
holy mackerel.
There are crazy usually, this, a hole-in-one, it bounces and it rolls and it rolls in like a putt.
Not this one.
Almost
chunk
unheard
in the
of.
jar, right in the jar.
Yeah, but usually even when it goes in the jar, it'll ricochet out.
Yeah.
And that was like, a swish from 150. Actually, it was like a swish from 10 miles away. The odds of that going in and staying in were just astronomical. And for it to happen, of all the people, to that guy on a Sunday. Yeah. I mean, it does make you believe in some sort of higher power.
Yeah, some kind of fate or something, and he embraced every last second of it, and we loved watching and embrace it. It was phenomenal.
It was Tin Cup come to life.
It was, except the good way, and he capped, as several people said. I think Rory said it. He stole everybody's heart. He stole the heart, really did. So I love stories like, really, we all root for stories for sure.
Right.
David,
I was going to say that you wouldn't have to be a golf fan to get into that because it is a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Which leads us to this question.
Yeah.
Who would play, this was online, Twitter, who would play Michael Block in a movie about his life? Now, you got to remember, if there's someone who has to be able to swing a golf club and look real doing it. Yeah. Nothing's worse when I was a kid than going to movies who were about sports figures who couldn't look like a girl throwing a baseball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No offense, girls. It's just different. But someone's got to be able to swing a golf club, right? So who would play? I got a guy who played Michael Block.
You got to play Mike because, he sort of looked to me like Vince Vaughn, just from the appearance. I don't know if Vince Vaughn can swing, but Vince Vaughn looks like the kind of guy who with a few lessons, can get a smooth enough looking swing.
Maybe so,
to get away with it.
Yeah.
Who was, the great, of course, when you think of golf in Hollywood, I automatically just can't think of Caddyshack, but that's an older generation. Even Chevy Chase is a little old to be playing that right now. And rest in peace, Rodney Dangerfield certainly couldn't do it.
No.
But those were the great Hollywood. I'm afraid
Oops. David's computer died again, looks like. Oh, boy. Well, there you go. All right. So we'll wait and see if David can come back because he has this problem occasionally. This time it's not on my end. That's what's unusual. Usually I'm the one going down. So we'll get back with David at one point. Either that, we'll get him on the phone. So we're telling you, by the way, a couple of scores in the SEC baseball tournament. You might have been following it. Here's David again. See if we get him back on. And so the baseball scores, as we bring David back up, are this in the in Hoover. And Georgia got beat by South Carolina 9-0. Tennessee was beaten by Texas A&M 3-0. Looks like Texas A&M clinched the spot in the final 64, which means there'll be 10 teams in the SEC. And now Alabama leads. I don't think the game is over. Beats Kentucky 4-0. So there you go. That's that. David, you're back.
David, I am back. My computer died on me, so now I'm back via cell phone.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had the computer checked the other day by the crack of Gannett IT staff, and they spent an hour and a half working on it, and they said everything was fixed. Well, maybe not.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Listen, it happens so often, and sometimes it's a computer, sometimes it's pilot error, sometimes it's just the Wi-Fi that goes down. But you're back. Okay, thank you for hustling back, and appreciate that very much. And we got you loud and clear. So we're talking about movies. We don't have to stay on this topic very long. Movies and dreams. My guy was Matthew McConaughey. Now he's a little bit of a stick. He one time was a 6 handicap, so he'd be a good choice there. Although Michael Block is not exactly that handsome kind of leading man kind of guy, but it was fun. So anywho, people asking want to talk about questions. Said, let's see, cheering on Tennessee getting beat. David, how are the regionals set already? And the conference tournaments have not even started. Michael Burton wants to know.
Yeah, because once I guess the NCAA wants to get these things planned and get everything set, and they know you can pretty much round up the teams that they know will be good and are good at hosting these things. And so if Florida doesn't fall on its face every year or the year, they're going to get a regional. And so basically, the Gators took care of that business by in the last couple of weeks with a strong finish, and they more or less assured themselves of a super regional on top of it if they get through the regional. And really, I mean, it would be sort of more fun and more dramatic if one of these was hanging in the balance to win the SEC tournament, it would give it more meaning. But it still had enough meaning, just to be the SEC champion. I was sort of wondering earlier today, Arkansas and Florida were co-champs, co-regular season champs. So, I mean, it's sort of like a lot of sports. Who is the official SEC champ? Is it the tournament? Because that's the way it is in basketball, or
it's both. It's both. One's tournament champion, one's regular season champion.
Right.
And
and if you win both, can you claim 2 SEC championships?
Maybe get 2 trophies, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
So much I don't know. I mean, there are those who say we don't need to have the SEC tournament, conference tournaments. And I was asked this morning by Shane Matthews how, if I was coaching the Gators, I would approach the SEC tournament. And I said the approach is sort of normal. And a lot of people say, well, sit your regulars down, don't play them. I think that's a bad thing, because when you take your foot off the gas, there's something mentally that takes away your sharpness. How many times have we seen teams lose their sharpness? Sometimes you got to be out there scrapping for your life every day to get to that fighting mode, and you lose that edge. So I would play it as it is. I wouldn't do anything different. If somebody was injured, I'd set them down maybe a little bit, but I would set up my whole thing for the super regional and the regional. That's what you're playing for.
Without, athletes are creatures of habit, and especially baseball players, and they are used to playing this kind of game. And we're not talking about a bunch of 38-year-old guys at the end of a 162 game season.
Right.
We're talking about 20, 21-year-old kids who are really they're playing 3 games a week. I mean, and these kids have, they've been playing travel ball since they were, 2, just about. They're used to playing 18. So fatigue is not a. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take a starter into the 9th inning in any of these games. I would keep your pitching arms. Wouldn't push them far, but I would say go about it, because it's not like they got to turn around if they play Sunday and play Monday in Gainesville. Right. They're much better off staying sharp. If they didn't have it, I think if there was a week off for whatever reason, they'd be out there playing scrimmage games just to stay sharp. I think you go up there and you just play like it's a regular weekend series. Go up there and just have at it.
Yeah, for sure. I want to say that you need some feel-good stories around Gainesville now, obviously. And we've had a couple. I think certainly Anthony Richardson was the feel-good story, in my opinion, without a doubt. Trinity Thomas is a feel-good story. We're gonna wait and see what happens in recruiting. There's a big batch of players coming in here in June. We'll see how they do. I've heard someone say today, I don't know about all these things, that Florida, that Billy had a better blue chip rating than Dan Mullen, and I don't know how you do all these things like, oh, here's the power index for blue chips. I don't know. It's hard to say. But anyway, there are a few good things, and you like to root for the good stories. And I think the way they swept Vanderbilt, and they got 2 out of 3 to clinch, and then got a backdoor, because Vanderbilt helped them out in the end. They got in, and they got the number 1 seed. Momentum's going well for Sully right now, and this could be he's been close a couple of years. It's been a while since Sully's really had himself a really good ball club. He's got a really good ball club, as you know. You saw the All-SEC list. You saw the 2 Golden Spikes nominees, semifinalists. Caglianone's coming to his own now as a pitcher at just the right time. And they got it going. So could be fun. Maybe that'll be the story that carries us the next 3 weeks.
Oh, it'll be there for the next 3 weeks, and maybe beyond. It could turn out to be, I said, a really nice feel-good story, because, you're right. It's been 2018, which, it's funny. That sounds like yesterday, but it was really 5 years ago. And so they're due to get back, and the last few years, they didn't feel like a team that they might make the College World Series, but they weren't like they should go.
Right.
You think that they'd get lucky. This is the kind of team that has all the ingredients that should go. And if things fall into place, they could go for. You can make it and easily envision that Caglione keep this up, and they could win it. I mean, it's funny, the Caglione, because early in the year, he was Nuke LaLoosh out there just throwing wild and Sully's would you be better off putting him in the pen or whatever? And Sully said, no, if we're going to do what we want to do this year, it's got Jack Caglione has to be one of our starters, because you need that third guy out there, and with his stuff, and it's just a question of would he get it under control, and it seems like that process is worked out just as Sully would have envisioned it. If he can design it better, all right, because he's wild, but he is. He's not here. I don't have my radar gun out there, but here, he's gone from trying to throw 99 to the mid 90s. Has a little bit more control.
Throwing 100 actually, and he's got a change up now. He got better location. Yeah. He's gotten into the almost 8 innings now. He's learning to pitch. He's not Ohtani yet, but he's a force there. He can be a regular starter. And they need his arm to get him through. Now, his bat is amazing. All their bats are amazing. They've done a great job. So it's a fun team to watch, and they've really been. They've been really, and they're peaking at the right time, David.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it because it's funny. A couple of weeks ago, they were like, all right, maybe that there were some struggles and bullpen and blah blah blah.
South Carolina.
But there is no super team out there that you figure, oh my God, there's no like the Oklahoma the version of the Oklahoma softball team
or Georgia football.
Where so if they're one of those teams that say, if the breaks go their way, I mean they could easily be in that, go a long way in Omaha.
Yeah, I inadvertently put this up because I was going to show it to the night. I did. So I'll put it back on the screen for people. Have you seen the latest swimsuit issue of Sports Illustrated?
Oh yes, I did.
That's it. That's the real cover. That's really her. Martha Stewart. I know. 81 years old.
I could have gotten pretty excited about that had I seen that cover 50 years ago. But I'm one of those kids, like I was like millions of other kids. The high point of my year was that I used to come out in February, where you'd come home from school, run to the mailbox, and there it was.
I'm just trying to get I want to know about the football, and of course it's got all the bikinis on the cover, naturally. So you'd run up to your room and shut the door, and immediately you couldn't wait to start reading those articles. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, I just happened to put that up by accident. She looks really good for 81-year-old woman.
She does.
Not that we judge people here on the show, but it's a fact. All right. So, David, I got to get to my Denver Nuggets. All right. I don't talk about the NBA much around here, but I suffered with this team for a while. I covered them 7 years. And the highlight of those 7 years, I love covering Doug Moe. He was great. And Kiki Vandeweghe and Alex English and Dan Issler. Yeah, those are old players. I get it. It was a fun time. But the biggest night they ever had in 7 years was when they beat the Lakers in one game of the Western Conference Finals. One in L.A. And we had a mass celebration that night. It was fun. And that's how far we've come, to where the Lakers get swept by the Denver Nuggets. Wow. How about that? And Djokovic wasn't a fluke.
No.
I mean, they may have put James in retirement if he.
And I'm just glad because everything of and the NBA revolves around the Lakers, especially with LeBron, and I just get tired. It's sort of like what Tiger used to be to the golf tour when he wasn't even playing. He might finish 23rd, but he's all anybody wanted to talk about. Now, the Lakers they are the top thing on any national sports talk. It's Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. they drive the conversation because it's I mean, and for good reason. But I'm just one of these guys. I'm just glad they're out of it. So well, of course, now they're talking about, as you said, will LeBron retire as opposed to this? But I'm just I'm just glad
it's
he's
really
gone
nice when you can turn down $15 million a year for 2 more years.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think he's walking away from $100 million. Even though he doesn't need the money, but still, that's that's Buddy Martin money there.
Yeah,
that you just can walk away from.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll walk away from it and leave it for you, Dave. I don't need it. So, my friend Buddy Page, who covered this team forever, back when they were in the ABA, he covered them, by the way. And he does these chalkboard things, as you know, around the horn. And this one this week was Legend of Broom. Yeah. Legion of Broom. Should be Legion. It said Legend, but I should have said Legion of Broom. Mm-hmm. Legend of Broom. Anyway, so and can you believe that they swept the Lakers?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at it, it was no fluke. I mean, they are the best team.
No doubt about it.
Yeah,
I mean, how good is Djokovic? How good is Djokovic? I mean, somebody brought a point today.
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead.
I would say, you think of a big guy and the great big men in the history of the NBA, and that they were inside players and rebounders, shooters, block shot. I mean, this guy he's leading the fast break at 7'1", and he is the best, and he is arguably the best passer in the league. And he can do, and that one shot he had last night, sort of fall back, Stork looking 3-pointer that swished. Yeah, I mean, and
there's two of those he's had like that. Two of those.
Yeah, right. And it wasn't a fluke. And it's just he's just unstoppable when he gets out there.
You know who reminds me of? Freddie Weeby. It reminds me of Freddie Weeby. He's on there. I see right now. Yeah. So Freddie Weeby is a place like that. No, but it is really amazing. I mean, here's something I can ask you, David. Name the assets of this guy, Nikola Jokic. Tell me the main points about his game. What are they, David?
Vision. Mm-hmm. He's sort of like Larry Bird, and that he saw the game in slow motion. He's always like one step ahead of everybody.
Right.
And he's never flustered. I mean, he's very cerebral. He knows the game inside and out. Mm-hmm. And also if you saw 10 guys on the court, and you were picking him, you didn't know anything about him, he would be the 10th guy you would pick because he just looks like, sort of like the overgrown doughboy, sort of frumpy, but his hand-eye and his skills are as good as anybody.
I'll tell you something else. Aside from being a great shooter, no big man should be shooting those threes like that. He is also a ferocious competitor, like Larry Bird was. Yeah. And in addition to all the things, he's quick and he's huge. He's strong. You didn't see him knock LeBron down last night. I mean, he is physically imposing, and he is a tremendous passer. And someone mentioned this today, and you mentioned it just now. He is very smart on the court. Very smart.
Yeah. Right. And another thing I like about it is that you never hear any drama about him. He seems to. There is no. I'm sure he has an ego, but if he had, it's very well contained. Because you never hear him talking about, I need to go to Denver's a great town and a great city, but there's always, well, you're going to go to New York, you're going to LA. You don't hear any of that about him. I think he's happy where he is. He's a team guy. Part of it, it's the European upbringing. Yeah. He's very team oriented about it, and you can tell he just loves where he is. And I mean, they are set up for a 3 or 4 year run. If they can just keep him healthy.
And they got some other good young players there. And they got good pickups in Caldwell Pope and people like that. I love how they handle the ball. They pass the ball. They're fun to watch. It was a telling moment last night, just what you said about him. When they were interviewing him after he won whatever the award is they won for the best player in the West. They're interviewing him and says, okay, anything you want to say to people back in Denver? Now, some idiots just say, he said, well, I might want to say hi to my mom and dad. Yeah. He's got the whole world right there in his hand. Right. He said, I might want to say hi to my mom and dad. which is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So not to belabor the point, but I'm really happy for the city of Denver. I'm really happy for this thing. I don't know the gentleman, but I really like him, and I would be a big fan of Jokic so long as he plays basketball. So that's that. Here's LeBron's statement about it.
We would be remiss. I'm going to say if we don't give a little tip of the hat to the Miami Heat, who appeared to be, I don't know how they're doing tonight. But
well, they're gonna probably close the sweep out, I would think, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Somebody give us a score.
Yeah. I mean, people expected Denver to beat LA, although not in this fashion, sweeping out. But the fact that the eighth seed in the East is now rolling and might sweep the number one seed to make the finals. And I mean, talk about Jimmy Butler and four guys from the Y. Bam Adebayo, but holy smokes!
I think they're also. I think by day they're also play hockey. They're the Florida Panthers.
Right? I mean, what's
really,
going on in Miami?
I don't know.
If you were still working for the Miami News in your dreams, this would be just a Camelot down there.
Oh, it'd be wonderful. It'd be wonderful. And let me just say one thing about LeBron. I want to get this in. And I think, in my opinion, when LeBron cools down and gets a little rest, he'll say, okay, go get me another player. Give me a guy. Give me Kyrie or something. Let's play this thing out 2 more years. But his comments about Jokovic, he's so-called gushed about his basketball IQ. Here's a quote from LeBron. Now, LeBron doesn't say this about people. Maybe it's not talked about because a lot of people don't understand it, but I do. He is special.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty high praise right there.
Yeah, I'm sure Djokovic probably will have that printed out on his
wall. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah,
he'll cherish that as much as anything when you get that kind of accolade from somebody who knows.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that won't be everybody in America. At least the TV network will probably give me an LA Boston final. Lakers just like the old days, and they got just the opposite. But I'm much more intrigued by watching this. And like I said, between watching that and with the Gator baseball team, that'll get us through the next few weeks.
Yeah, we used to always talk about the prejudice against the Mountain Time Zone. Most people don't even know it's there. They don't have any idea of what the Mountain Time. They think it's either West Coast or Central Mountain Time. What's that? And of course it's Neverland for some teams. They just don't get much. So anywho. All right,
I know that's where the Donner Party went, and they never came out.
Exactly, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. That was certainly part of it. All right, so let's see what we got to do here. Florida is projected number 2 national seed in D1 baseball. Field 64. Like you said, maybe that'll carry us this summer. All right, now here's one I want to get your take on. I'm gonna bring Lauren in if we can get you both on. We're having conversations about the realistic projection for Billy Napier. Shane and I have talked about it for 3 weeks now. Shane is adamant they're going to win 8. And they're fine with the quarterback. That Graham Mertz is going to be good. He'll carry him through. And by the way, their schedule isn't all that tough. Well, I don't know if I can agree with all that. Shane and I talked about it again this morning. But, he asked me what I thought about the team. I said, right now, I have to accept Vegas's projection of 5.5, 6 is realistic. Do I think they'll go over it? Probably. Do I think they'll win 6 or 7? 6, yes. 7, I'm not sure. He's going to win 8. I don't want to go that far just yet. I don't have enough to go on, David. I don't. And, we're just going by numbers and metrics and opinions and whatever. But I got to be able, I'm a visual guy. I got to be able to see what I'm talking about. And I haven't seen enough of these guys to know. Now, there's a lot of good things being said, among Billy and his people. He spoke to the Fighting on Touchdown Club last night. And according to Franz, who was there, he was very confident. And so we'll see. So your thoughts about all that, and then we'll bring Lauren aboard to help us out with this for a second.
Yeah, Billy had a little thing before that, with the Q&A, which went, for about 20 minutes. And, and you can just feel there's a confidence there. And it belies, he really is good at just shutting out the noise. I think he knows it's there, but it doesn't affect him at all. And I don't think you could say that about a lot of coaches. The last few, I think they heard the noise out there, and it did affect. McElwain, I think Mullen heard it, and it got to him. I think Billy, he knows. This people talking hot seat. Well, I think he knows he's not really on the hot seat because Scott Strickland is a big fan and hasn't lost faith in him at all. And that's the one guy who really controls the temperature on that seat that matters. But he is such a believer in Billy is in the culture is going to win eventually, and getting the kind of players he gets in that he wants. And you could just tell how much he feels they have advanced from last year this time to this year in getting the people that he wants, the kind of people, the right mentality, getting them used to the systems and everything. And he's unshakable in his belief in what he's doing there. And I think that the team will be a lot better this year in most areas, although it may not reflect so much in the wins. But I think that how they go about their business, I'm with you. I would take that 5.5 in a heartbeat. I think they'll win. I think 6 is probably the floor. 8, well, 9 would be, but the through the roof. I think, but I would say 7 is the safe bet right now, because you can make a case for and it's like will South Carolina keep it up? I mean, surely they won't lose to Vandy. Again, Kentucky are they going to plateau? You can make all of it. And I thought it was interesting last night for the first time. Billy was sort of talking like we had 51 points. That's what kept us, from having a really great year, and he's like, we were in all these games despite, us being in this embryonic stage, and he says, it was close in the fourth quarter through all those games. So I think, I think he likes where he just with that, I think we're going to see it for the next few months. He's going to relish that underdog, these guys can't get it done kind of thing. And I think, every coach would rather, and we get this because, play that chip that, you get no respect, and he'll have plenty of newspaper clippings to show them, or video clips to show them, whatever, TikTok clips, whatever they show them these days to prove that they're not getting it.
Yeah. We got the coach on here. Let's see what he thinks. How are you, Lauren? Thanks.
How you guys
Lauren
doing?
says the score is halftime score. He says 56-50 Heat at the half. So he's watching ball.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Heat playing pretty well right now. They got it going. Sometimes it's about it's so much parity now in the NBA. It's it's about getting hot at the right time. And like David said, they will have taken out the number 1 and number 2 seed in the East. And I mean, as a play-in team. I mean, you can't. I mean, this is perfect. Reason to continue to play in, as much as people don't necessarily like to play in tournament. I mean, it's definitely evidence that, the play-in tournament has been a good idea for the NBA, and I'm sure Eric Spoelstra echoes that, Now, as far as the football team, I mean, I think I agree with David, and he brought up a good point. You're going to have plenty of, bulletin board material. You shouldn't have any problem getting the guys fired up come August 1st when two-a-days start and things like that. I mean, there shouldn't be any shortness of motivation for the team to be up. I mean, it's going to be kind of us against the world. Nobody respects us. I mean, even yours truly has his doubts. So they'll be able to point to a lot of different things that and David and I have even had conversations offline about some things, and just observations. But like from what I heard on Monday and what I've seen out of different people around the program, like I said, they really feel like this thing is going in the right direction. So I agree. I mean, if I was going to Vegas, I'd definitely put 100 on the over on the 5.5, and I see 8 wins there, but you got to win the ones you're supposed to win, and then in most
some
cases,
some you aren't supposed to win too.
Yeah, and maybe get one you're not supposed to. So, but I'm a person that I think progress it doesn't necessarily equate to wins as a, you know, I just think that if you look at, like David said, 51 total points in the 7 losses. I don't know if he counted the bowl game, but let's say the 6 losses during the season. And you talk about some special teams plays here, a couple stops, also key third downs. And so to me, I think if you talk about a better defense, you talk about a better, what Billy calls his game changers, you know, I think that equates
better
to
third downs. Obviously, got to do better there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I think you win. I think so. I think if you talk about progress, I think progress would be an additional, you know, 2 wins, and like I said, now you're at 8-4. So
of course, 8 would be good.
Know, it's going to be interesting.
I was asked this question this morning on Shane Matthews' show by a listener. He said, "Buddy, would you like Florida's chances better next year if Anthony Richardson was coming back?" I said, "Yeah, I would, because I can be a better player." You know, and be, well, he's not accurate. Well, I mean, look, the guy never got to start but 1 season, and certainly he's improved his accuracy some. And I've always liked a guy who can take it in for 80 yards, something, you know, with his feet and throw it for 80 with his arm. What's not to like? I'm sure he has some flaws, but give me a good coach and a great talented quarterback, and I'll take my chances on that. Now, Graham Mertz may be very efficient. He may be another Stetson Bennett. I don't know. But I'm telling you, when I see a talent like Anthony Richardson, I am dying to see him to suit up and get on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was going to say, you know, the Anthony Richardson that of next year won't be the Anthony Richardson of last year.
Right.
That's why the Colts drafted him.
Right.
You know, it's the top end. It's not like he was going to plateau. He would have kept getting better at Florida, like he's going to keep getting better in the pros.
Yeah.
I mean, well. Yeah, so sure. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't want Anthony Richardson back? But, you know, I mean, who wouldn't want, you know, a young Emmitt Smith back? That, you know, unfortunately, that's just not the way it works. Guys go on, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, you think about it this way. If Anthony Richardson is, let's say, what was he, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, around 58%, something like that?
Completion 57, I think,
Yeah, so if he's at 62, that's 2 wins there. I mean, you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you telling me he wasn't going to improve 4 percentage points in the passing game? Of course he was.
Yeah.
And he will. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, I think I think people, you know, it's like the narrative of, you know, you guys were talking basketball earlier. It's like, you know, Michael Jordan wouldn't have got swept. Well, but he did 2 years in a row. You know, it's like people want to make the narrative fit the argument. And, you know, the fact is that, just like every other quarterback, Anthony Richardson is going to be, like David said, is going to improve. And you know, I mean, it's just that simple. Now, will he improve to be an all-pro, Hall of Fame quarterback? No, but he will be a better quarterback in the NFL than he was at the University of Florida.
Yeah. Scott Miles asked a question, kind of referring to this obliquely. Would a fair assessment of Coach Billy Napier be a goal of 8 wins in 2023 and 10 wins in 2024? Is that fair and would be good enough goal for UF football the next 2 years? Scott at Big J Report. Absolutely. I think I said,
no doubt.
I take that in a heartbeat. Wouldn't you guys?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's
no question. I mean, you win 10 wins in the SEC with that schedule. Sure, and with a program on that, keep that trajectory going. Yeah, everybody would jump on that. And again, I don't think that the win total is important, but it's if they won 7, but look good doing it, and you can see the trajectory going up. That is what you want. Because year 3 is when we can really start making some fair assessments of what's going on. That he would have his guys in there. There shouldn't, assuming that Austin Armstrong isn't swept away after 1 year because he's so great. Who knows? But I think that'll be the really interesting thing to see about what the impact he's having on that defense this year. And I think they might have really lucked into something with having to replace him.
And November 25th, 2023.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the schedule now. which we've yet to do that. We have not broken it down. But let's squeeze this schedule here and see what is the best we can get out of it, okay? And we'll write this down. And Lauren, by the way, you want to give your trivia question first?
Sure. I apologize. My first apologies to Spurs Gridiron Grill, and I was on a flight back from Ohio that was scheduled at 8 p.m. It didn't take off from Dayton, Ohio, till 4 a.m. So it was a rough. Had to jump into the work thing. But real quick, so I've been kind of working on lists and kind of challenging our listeners with a little bit of history. So as far as what two former Florida receivers have the most catches in their NFL careers in the NFL? So what two former Florida receivers have the most catches in the NFL in their careers? What two?
You mean in the NFL now, or are they NFL catches?
In their NFL careers.
Okay.
So you take the list from Jerry Rice down to Wes Welker and so on.
So what two former Florida receivers are leading Gator receivers in the NFL? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Most catches, not yards. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can live with
that. Did one play for San Diego?
We'll see.
Yeah. His daddy was baseball commissioner, Happy Chandler. No, I'm just kidding. All right, that's fair. Now, I'm going to do this real quick. Let me just throw this up here, this commercial, real fast, and then we're going to go over the schedule and squeeze it down. This is a quick 30-second schedule commercial for our friends over at Meldon Law. And let's see. Hold on a second. Here it is, right? Cheer. And
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
Meldon Law, they won't back down. All right, thank you very much. Meldons, let's get back to the program now and the trivia question. See if we can get Lauren back up here and David and regroup. There's David, and that's not Lauren. And David, you just aren't as good as looking as Lauren. It's just be honest about it. So there you go. All right, here we go. All right, so there's the question. All right, now I'm going to read to you. We're going to go over these. If I can call us back up, well, it's gone now. But I'm going to try to get this schedule back one more time. Florida Gators football schedule 2023, and we will all make a quick picks. Okay.
Here's the upcoming schedule for
all right, so someone write this down. All right.
And November 25th,
I think we'll agree. Well, let's start off with Utah on the 31st. Let's say W or L, David.
L. I don't think they can beat them 2 years in a row.
Lauren.
L.
Buddy.
3. It's gonna be tough out there. A little altitude. They got some dudes back at Utah. I think that might be a little tough.
Well, we can all put down W's for McNeese State, I think, with no problem there. All right, we're good there, right? Tennessee. Yeah. Who wants to go first on Tennessee? Let's go, Lauren. David, you go first. Tennessee.
W.
All right, Lauren.
W.
And Buddy W. Okay, we're kind of doing all the same here. All right, Charlotte's a W for him. All right, so all of a sudden, and now Kentucky. All right, David?
W.
Lauren?
W.
Buddy, W. Now, you see what we've done here? We now have them 4-1. 4-1. For the guy who's predicting them to win 5.5 games. How you like those odds, okay? So this is all right. So now we're going to go Next, we're going to go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Vanderbilt. David?
Yeah, got to be a W. Got to be.
I'm assuming Lauren gets a W and Buddy gets a W, right? We good there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
South Carolina. David?
They're due for an L at that point.
Lauren?
I'm going to go W.
And I'm going to go W. Now, right now, I've got them at 1, 2, 3, 4. They already made their nut. I got them at 6-1 already in their first 7 games. All right? Are we feeling better about things? I mean, think about that now.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Okay. Now we know the next week is an L. That's Georgia. Unless someone wants to go the other way.
Close L, but an L.
Oh, right now, we can change it later. All right. And now we got to go Arkansas.
Where's that game?
It's at Florida.
I go W.
Lauren?
Georgia hangover L.
All right. I'm gonna go. Buddy's gonna go. I'm gonna go W. Dang, what am I doing here? It's crazy. So looking at this, look, I've got them right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 already. 6 and 3. Then you got LSU, probably an L from all of us, I would think, right?
I'll say L.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Missouri, probably a W for all of us. Is that Missouri? That someone wants to put an L down.
Long as the weather don't get them.
All W's?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got FSU. David?
I got to go L.
Lauren?
That's my upset special of the year. As bullish as I am on Florida State, I think Florida gets them.
All right, now here's what we got here, folks, right now. David, you now have, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 6 and 2, 6 and 3, 7 and 3. You have, David, you got 7 and 4. That's about where you said they belong. All right. Lauren, you got L, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7. 1, 2. Is this right, David? Lauren, do I have you at 8?
Got me at 8.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Okay. All right. And then Buddy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2, 7, 2, 7, 3, 8, 3, 8, 4. So we're averaging on that picks right now above. We're right at 8 wins, a little below 8 wins. We're probably 7.8. And here for all the bad talk, we're picking the guy to virtually win 8 games. Mm-hmm. So some ain't right. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. There's probably a little bit of
summer optimism.
Yeah, and Gator bias there. You know, I'm sure if you were doing this in Tennessee tonight, all 3 Tennessee guys would have said, "That's a W for Tennessee."
Maybe. But I'm like,
we're giving them the toss-up game.
Look, Lauren's automatically a negative Nelly, so we know that. And so I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised. I would have thought we'd have been right about 7 or under each, but we didn't. All right, so go ahead. How'd the trivia question work out, Lauren? Do you see any winners there?
No winner yet.
Man, you've gone 3 straight weeks without anybody winning. What's going on here, dude?
No, last week Sissy Long was money. She won last week.
Yeah,
she got it. So,
finally,
there's some good guesses, but
nobody.
Nope, I don't see anybody unless I'm missing on the Facebook feed. But
all right, so David. Well, let's guess.
It is not Chris Collinsworth.
No, I would think Caldwell would be in there somewhere, but I don't know. Well, they're not playing. You mean they're playing now, so I don't know. You don't know who's playing now or all time. All right, so I don't know.
Period. Whether it's active or not.
Okay.
It's basically there's what former Florida receivers are the top two. Top two former Florida receivers on the list of all-time receptions in NFL history.
All right, well, we know one of them, pretty sure, but we didn't. Nobody's got them, so we're going to give them one more minute, and then we don't have another minute. We're out of time. You want to blow the whistle or what?
Give them about
30 more seconds, and we're going to do this to you because you had time, and these are things you can do. We're going to do this. Okay, so there you go.
Now, if somebody said it and I didn't see it, but I don't see it, you know.
Well, here you got all the lists in there. You see them?
Yeah, I see. I think I see them. Yeah.
I see. Starting back, you got Chris Collinsworth and Doring. You got let's see. You got Chandler and the kid from Newberry who was coaching with Baden. You got let's see, Natil. You got Nat Moore, and David Hunter mentioned Nat Moore and Blaylock and West Chandler. You only get two guesses, and then Shane. Oh, that's different. Okay, there's West Chandler. He gets thumbs up a lot. Jaquez and Ike. And
you got to give me two, though. It's two of them.
And Carlos Alvarez and Chris Collinsworth. So it's not Alvarez. All right. Yeah. So anyway, all right, in 10 seconds, you got to give us the answer, right? And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just read this. When I get through reading this, you give us the answer. I will be sure and tell the folks about my friends at Renstar Medical Research, who've done a terrific job in my community of Ocala and the health industry as well. They are sponsors, longtime sponsors of this show. They also have these clinical research programs, which I know you know about, Lauren. They've been doing these a long time. They've done over 700 of them. And I think we've lost David. So I want to just tell you folks about Renstar if I can. They have a reputation as high-quality, patient-centered clinical research facility, bring cutting-edge clinical research trials to Ocala in areas like Alzheimer's, psoriasis, osteoarthritis, migraines, fibromyalgia, along with many other conditions that affect our community. Since their inception in 1998, Renstar participated in more than 700 clinical trials and continue to partner with prominent pharmaceutical and biomedical companies throughout the medical industry. If you want to take part, be a part of the clinical research, you can contact them at renstar.net. Look at their information. In some cases, they'll reimburse you for time and travel. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. David, who you got? Lauren, who you got? Who's your winner?
We don't have a winner. Stumped them.
All right. You want to tell us the answers?
The answer would be both these gentlemen have coached recently or are coaching, and it's Wes Chandler and Ike Hilliard.
Well, there you go. Two of my favorites. I love Wes Chandler. I loved Ike too. They're quality people. So, all right, Lauren, you take care, brother. I'm glad you're back. Made it back safely and all that. And we'll be on Thursday night with the band, and we'll be whooping it up. And
yes, sir.
Once a baseball tournament, and you're about due for a little track column this week at some point.
Yeah, yeah. Got regionals coming this week. Hopefully, looking to do a feature on. Going to sit down with NCAA or SEC 400 meter champ and recent college record holder. The men's 4x4 broke the collegiate record in the SEC championship. The anchor was SEC champion Ryan Willie.
So, what a quarter he ran. Whoa. I'll watch that. He blew them away.
So he's the emotional kind of heartbeat of the team, and really, really fine young man. So hopefully going to get with him soon.
Mouse Holloway could be racking up another trophy. What you got, 8 or something, for crying out loud? You got so many of them?
I think it's 11 and counting.
Wow, amazing. All right, Lauren, good talking to you, brother. I'm glad you made it home safely. All right, you take care.
Thank you.
Coach Lauren Meadows, bringing it once again. Thank you, Lauren. All right, folks, thank you for listening and watching tonight. Thanks to David Whitley. He's always fun to be on with. And I hope you in your dreams are sweet tonight. Maybe I'll see you in my dreams. Never know. So thanks, Michael Burton, for the comments on the show. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. Back tomorrow night. We've got more Alec Peak Wilbur. We'll be talking baseball with Scott Carter. And then we've got David Moulton tomorrow night. So on Bloody Martin Show. Tell your friends and neighbors. Thanks very much for listening and watching. Good night, all.